Hi everyone. Well, here we are. I'm going to process this image from Iceland, and I talk about it in Sunday's video. And this is actually going to be this video is going to be posted on the channel before Sunday's video, so you guys are going to see this image before you see the video on Sunday, where I'm talking about lots of different stuff. So anyway, this is just an abstract, kind of detailed, small scene from Iceland, and it's something that I really like. There's just something about it that's kind of talking to me, and I think that's one of the best reasons to process images, is it's asking you to. Now, I've commented on this before, that to process an image whilst talking to you folks changes the relationship that I have with the data. So what I might do when I actually get into the processing side is talk less. If there's anything significant that I'm doing, I'll kind of mention it, but I think I'm not going to kind of narrate everything I do, or maybe I will. If I feel comfortable, then I will. Now, I have done a little bit of work on this so far, and if I look at the before and after, you can see that I have darkened it a bit and added some whites. So I've basically created some contrast. I've also added some of the blue saturation slider, just a tiny bit, and I've done a bit of work with the saturation and luminance to basically create contrast. Processing is about contrast. It's creating a path. It's emphasizing the luminosity that you want, and we use shadows to create depth, and we use our highlights to create interest. So you can see the image on the left, the raw file, kind of flat, kind of low contrast, and that's typical of raw files. They tend to be, if it's well exposed, it's going to be quite bright. If it's, there's not a huge amount of native contrast in this, the blacks aren't super black. So I'm going to stretch the histogram, make it more contrasty, and therefore allow the eye to wander through the frame in a bit more interesting way. Now, every time I open a file, you can basically assume that I'm going to change my mind. And what I'm going to do with this is every photograph becomes a function of who is sat in front of it. I could give this raw file to any number of my very good friends, and we would all produce different versions of it. Now, does that mean that one is better than the other? Does it mean that they are it's this concept of better or worse. It's not better or worse, it's just different intention, different expression, different perspective, different opinion. Now, there is no relationship between opinion and absolute truth when it comes to aesthetic preference. And one of the biggest mistakes photographers in the early part of their journey, and even as we mature and become quite experienced photographers, is we worry too much about other people's opinion. Other people saying, I don't like that, and then believing that that means it's poor. It's just they don't like it. I've got hundreds of thousands of pieces of music that I love, and other people hate them. Doesn't mean that I don't love them. So allowing ourselves that freedom to love what we love is a really good thing for us to do. Now, I am talking to you guys a lot here, and it is getting in the way of my creativity. So I'm just gonna do my thing for a little bit. So I kind of like this so far. I think I'm going to do something that I don't do very often, actually, which is I'm going to go into Nick and make this really cool and glowy. I'm going to take off some of the texture off that snow. It's really, really gritty up there. The snow in the Highlands gets all covered in black dust and sand, and it kind of looks pretty disgusting, to be fair. Right, so we've kind of got to a point here where the image is, why do I like this? I think it's that sensual foreground, the fact that it's got this very delicate curve to it. The sweep up to the right hand side with those beautiful mosses and the yellow grasses, and then that snow patch. It's kind of rule of thirdsy, this one, a little bit, but don't tell the main channel. And I am going to stick this in Nick just because I think I can soften it somewhat. Now, the thing with softening an image is we're creating atmosphere. So when we bring the image into Nick, Color FX Pro has a filter called Glamour Glow, and it's a bit like an Orton-y type thing. It's producing this glowy diffusion, and the more you increase the glow, the more diffused it gets. Now, you have to worry sometimes about creating halos with this software, but in this scene it's not an issue. And we can change the saturation of the colors, and we can also change the temperature. As I move things across to the warmer side, then that grass is going to get really warm, and as I move it over to the left, it's going to get cooler. Now, the glow warmth, we're basically saying what temperature do we want this feeling to be, this atmosphere to be. Now, the cooler we are, the more sinister and austere this image is going to be, and the warmer it is, the more kind of joyful and exuberant it's going to be. And I'm going to go for a warmer image in this particular case. I think the color of the moss is joyful for me. It's a very austere environment, but I'm going to go with a nice warm feel to this. We can choose to ignore shadows or highlights to greater or lesser degree. That's not a major issue. I'm just going to take a look at the snowbank. Yeah, it diffuses the snowbank if we give that 100%. And that is all I'm going to do. I don't need to add more contrast back into this again. I like the softness of it. So I'm just going to click Save. This will take the image back into Adobe Lightroom. And there we go. So it's quite a subtle change, but at the end of the day, it's softened everything quite a lot, and it's made it a much gentler image. And I like this now. I could spend more time processing this. We could take it into Photoshop. We could do luminosity masking. We could dodge and burn some more. But it's doing everything I want it to do right now, so I don't need to. It's about engagement. It's about enjoying the process. If you only want to spend 5-10 minutes processing your images because that's as long as you can stay engaged with it, then that's what you should do. If you're one of these people that can sit in front of the same photograph for 24 hours, great, enjoy. And as long as you're enjoying that process, then that's the whole point. So this is an image for me that is very gentle. It's very soothing. It's some people might perceive it differently. They might think it's a very harsh and kind of cold landscape. But there's a lot of gentleness about it for me. And hopefully that comes across in the way it's been processed. Thank you very much, as always, for your membership to this channel and the contributions you make on a monthly basis. It is massively appreciated. Thank you very much. There's going to be a ton of processing videos coming along shortly. The photographs that you sent in, your raw file challenge, Adam and I have chosen 2 from this channel and 2 from his channel, and those 4 will be processed by both of us, and that will be a video that's going to be on the main channel in the coming weeks. But all of the processing videos will only be on here. We will have another video where we discuss the images and what we've done, pretty much like we did on Adam's channel last month. So lots of processing videos coming your way. And some of the other images that you've submitted to me by email, I'll be getting in touch with you to ask for some raw files. And over the next month or so, every week, we'll be posting some more processing videos just so that you guys can see the type of things I might choose to do with some of your own work. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Hope you enjoyed it.